It's time now. Would you bring our attention back and let's welcome Ros from New Zealand. And thank you, Ros, for joining us today. It's good to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. I think my talk's already done. You know, the beautiful candle lighting and the meditation. It was like, yeah, that's all the things I wanted to get across. But I'm going to tell you a story. I was reflecting on this the other day. In New Zealand, where I grew up, we had a lot of macrocarpa trees and about 10 acres, 15 acres of land. And we were growing things. And one of our pests, one of the problems we had to deal with were possums. Now, I know in Australia, possums are really cute. And when I lived in Brisbane, I remember seeing possums running across our deck and they were just lovely. Well, they're not here. They grow huge and they eat all of our produce in our gardens and in our native forests, and they've become a real problem. So my dad had a shotgun and we had a couple of dogs. So when at nighttime he would shotgun over his arm, the dog would go out with him, and he would, if he could, he would shoot a possum. So he came in one day and we said, you know, how did it go? And, you know, the dog would normally sit at the bottom of the tree because, you know, in the dark, Dad couldn't tell where a possum might be. The dog would sit at the bottom of the tree and bark. And so Dad would know, and then shine the torch up into the tree and the light would catch the eyes. And so he would see where the possum was and he'd be able to shoot it. So he came in this time and he said, well, I couldn't couldn't find a possum. I think that dog was barking up the wrong tree. And it made me start to think, you know, it was just when I'd thought about this the other day, I was thinking, you know, I wonder if this is something for us. Are we sometimes barking up the wrong tree? You know, think about the chaos, all the stuff we're dealing with at the moment. We've got COVID and are we going to meet or can we not meet? You know, are you vaccinated? Are you unvaccinated? And it seems like a huge thing. I don't know whether it's a huge for you, but for us over here, it's become quite a huge thing to be talking about. And for me, it's that conflict of, well, what's right and what's wrong. And I'm thinking about what Rumi apparently said, beyond our ideas of right and wrong, there is a field. I will meet you there. I was thinking, well, so if we keep going down this track of what's right and wrong, are we barking up the wrong tree? Do we need to then come to a place of what is that field? And I think that field is our spiritual faculty of love. And you know, what we've already looked at today, you know, when Leslie was talking about the bringing love and wisdom together, the two things together. I wore pink today because I thought, well, we could do red, you know, for love. But I thought, well, what about red for love and the white for the intellect, and bringing them together, you get pink, all right? So we need to bring these two things together. So if we look at what love, the spiritual quality, the spiritual ability that we have to bring love, because it's not the emotion, it's not the emotion we usually think of as love. This is a power. This is a God-given power that we have, that we can bring forth into a situation. So we know it's not an emotion. It's that ability to know oneness. This is what Bill was talking about in the meditation. This ability to know oneness with everything, not just with those people that agree with us, not just with, you know, the situation, you know, if we like it. There are some situations we're confronting at the moment, I guess for you too, that we don't like, right? Perhaps don't like with a passion. But how can we use this spiritual quality that we have to have a different result? We know that love is a harmonizer, right? It's a spiritual ointment that will smooth over those rough places, that will bring together out of chaos, out of disparate views, will bring together something that is a better result, something that is for everybody. Because that's one of the other aspects of the spiritual love, is that it's that ability to desire good for everybody, not just good for me or for those people that I like or that believe or are thinking the same way as I am, but for everybody. So we have that ability within us. So we need to bring it forth. Only good can come from this. I love that affirmation. Only good can come from this. When sometimes people say, we just call it all good, and they're thinking, well, that's pretty tough because some things don't look good. But we do have the ability to call it forth. We do have that ability to say, I'm going to call forth the good out of this situation, out of what's happening. Another aspect of this spiritual quality of love is that it's like a magnet. It is a magnet, in fact. Love will draw things to us. Now, the thing is, of course, that it can draw negative things to us because of whatever's going on in our subconscious. If it's not in that place of absolute harmonious place, then we're going to draw some negative stuff to us. So, but we have the ability to change it using our denials and affirmations. So if we're barking up the wrong tree, we know that we can use this faculty of love to change it. There is I know there is lots of protests at the moment. There is this idea, sometimes people are going, I'm going to oppose what's going on. I am going to stand up and tell them they're wrong. I was told this story, and I believe it's true, and it's not the current Pope, but I think the one before, or one that was around in the 80s. I don't know which Pope it was, but there was a nun in the Vatican who got the privilege of being able to have a nightly meeting with the Pope. I think they had a little tipple together. I'm not sure what it was, but they would, and this was her chance. She thought, this is my chance to have the ear of the Pope. Now, he was a Pope, one of the popes who was adamant that women, so I would be out of the Catholic Church, you can imagine, women were not to have any leadership role in the Catholic Church. So this nun thought, now here's my opportunity to get into the ear of the Pope. Here I am. I can have a nightly time with him. And his advisors were saying, why do you allow this? She harangues you every night about, women should be allowed to be speaking. Women should be in leadership positions. And he said, you know something? What it does is it strengthens my views. Every time I hear that opposing voice, it strengthens my views. And I was like, whoa. And so we were looking at this, actually. We were told this story when I was working in the trade union movement, because as you know, trade unions often are opposers, right? Standing up to say, no, we do not agree with that. And, when this was pointed out, they said, you get to that point and you're going in opposite directions. You've actually strengthened strengthen the opposition. So think about that. If there's any place for you where you're thinking, oh, I am just going to fight this, well, maybe that won't be what will make the difference, because we do have this power within us that will make the difference, I believe. I think the nun was perhaps barking up the wrong tree. I sympathize with her. I empathize with her. I want to see that change as well, but it wasn't going to happen through that direct opposition. So is that a lesson for us? One of our way shower said, and I don't know where the quotes come from, someone can look it up for me and let me know, agree with thy adversary quickly. Agree quickly. Now, I don't think that necessarily means you're going along with, if these views are not ones that you resonate with or believe in or think are true, but there's something about that quality. See, what we're doing is using that spiritual quality of love and wisdom together, the two things together, to produce a better result, to produce a different result. The usual way, we have to unlearn the wisdom of the world. Eric Butterworth told us that. Unlearn the wisdom of the world. And that's what I think this is for all of us. This is why we do this work, isn't it? So is there another way? Is there a different way of dealing with it? I believe the standing up and fighting that way is barking up the wrong tree. And I did it for years. Still tend to do it sometimes as well. Hard to take the unionist out of the unitic. But here we are. We've given an opportunity in these times, I think, to practice a different way of being. So next time you find yourself perhaps going in that place of opposition, or not feeling like you can, that you're disagreeing with what's happening. Think about, am I barking up the wrong tree? Could I use this quality, this spiritual faculty I've got of love, to know that oneness with all, to want to have this good for everybody, to see it as this spiritual ointment? To know that magnet, that we can draw things together, because what happens if you put two magnets together with their opposing ends. They can't come together, can they? They're pushing apart all the time. So we use the attractive force that we know we have within us to do a mighty work. And what I love about this community that you have here is that meditation this morning. Imagine the vibration that's going out from that. We used to say, the minister at Unity of Greater Portland would say, there will be drive-by healings today. So from all of our energy going out there, the peace, the love, the hope. Let's stop barking up the wrong tree. Go to that heart space, that love space. God bless.
Oh, thank you very much. That was just what we needed. Thank you, Ros. And would you thank Ros once again? It's nice, isn't it wonderful? The blessings that we've got with the Zoom technology, Otherwise, just think of the airfare we'd have to pay for you a return trip to New Zealand. We don't have to worry about that. Thank you. And hopefully you'll